what you want to do is you want to take your epoxy putty and you want to fill up any gaps or any indentations. You want to fill up the end here, as we're going to be shaping it a little bit. And then this spot over here is pretty well covered, so I'm just going to fill up this void down here, especially where the pipe kind of curled a little bit. Now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and grind that. So I used a belt grinder, you could use a file, and you're going to want to grind it. So what I've done here is I actually primed this. So I ground this down. You can see the point, the shape of the point. You just want to grind it down, and then I primed it just to kind of show you the finish you'll get. So this is what the point looks like. So yeah. So once that's done, we'll just go and we'll finish off this bow and we'll pretty much be done. I've got both ends of this bow finished, if you can see. Fairly seamless on both sides. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly sand this whole bow, and then I'm going to put a coat of gray primer on this whole thing. So here we go. Gray primer coat, covered everything. So now what I'm going to do is once this dries, I'm going to go over with a white primer and just completely cover this whole thing to bring it back to a white color. What this is going to do is the gray primer is going to give you that UV resistance, and the white paint is going to make it workable so we can stain the bow as if it didn't have a paint finish on it. So here you go. I've, as you can see, painted it with white primer, and now it practically looks like a PVC pipe, except a PVC pipe with tapered tips for some magical reason. So now what I'm going to do is I've still got to let this primer cure a little bit more. Once it's fully cured and tape won't pull it off, we're going to actually wrap the tips here, and we're going to wrap the belly. Because what we're going to do is we're going to stain the tips to look like wood, we're going to stain the belly to look like horn, and then we're going to spray the back here with a different color of paint. Here you can see I've gone ahead, it's a little hard to see because I used normal colored duct tape, and then it's very close in color to my pipe, but you can see here I've got duct tape along the belly, and right here, and then I've got, masking tape up over the tip. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually spray paint this section one color. That's going to run up the sides, and then we're going to dye the belly like horn, dye the tips like wood. So here you can see we painted the back, and then you've also got a nice strip of paint along the belly where the tape was. So I went ahead and I took the tape off already. So you can see the tips nice and clear on both sides. The belly's clear. Here's the boat. So you see we've got the horn finish on the belly, and then the tips here we finished up with that faux wood finish. So now all we got to do is let this thing completely cure, completely dry, and then when that's done we can string it up and shoot it out. So here's the bow all strung up in the finish, so you can see it. So you can see both limbs, and the wood grain finish on both tips. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to kind of finish everything up. I've got a little piece of leather here. This is actually 2 pieces of belt leather glued together with contact cement, then ground down. You can see I've got a little wedge shape. And that is going to go right on the handle here to create a little rest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that on with contact cement. Then I'm going to use heat shrink tubing for a handle here. I'm also going to use a strip of heat shrink on both tips to kind of serve to blend these two areas together. Here's the bow all finished up. So here you can see the handle. What I did was I put that little leather rest there, put heat shrink tubing over this whole area. You can see, gives a nice consistent grip. And then here I put a little bit of heat shrink tubing over the transition here on the other side. So here we go. I string this up. So here we go. Here it is strung. You can see. So there you go. Here's a finished bow. Thanks for watching.